In for Whitlock and Wiley, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes are back. Let's move to Houston, where James Harden had another monster game over the weekend, dropping a 50-point triple-double in a win over the Kings. Harden now has an NBA record 5 50-point triple-doubles for his career, making a major push to repeat as MVP, scoring 50 or more in 3 of his last 6. Greg, do you think Harden locked up the MVP this weekend?
Hold on, Greg. Did you see that? You can't let nobody go dribble between their legs 12 times. My bad, Greg. Go ahead, dog.
No, you good.
My bad.
I love what James Harden has done. I think he's been phenomenal offensively, but I don't think he locked it up. When I look at what Giannis has been able to do over in the East, his team has the best record in all of basketball. It's not just what he's doing individually, which his numbers are unbelievable as well. 27, 12, and 5. The last player to do that is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and we know where his jersey hangs. So I love what Giannis has been able to do. I think sometimes we get caught up into this
prisoner of the moment.
Prisoner of the moment, and with James Harden having already done this, we've seen this already, and so it's one of those deals where we become enamored with what's new. And Giannis, although he's always been able to be effective, he has not done this, and he has not allowed his team to be the #1 seed in all of basketball. And I like what he's done. I think he has just as great a shot as James Harden, although James Harden is putting up some unbelievable numbers.
Harden's been incredible, but I do not think he locked up the MVP, guys. I think Giannis is my pick for the MVP. This is a guy, as Greg said, best record in basketball. They were the 7th seed last year, okay? Now they have the best record. It ain't just the new coach, okay? And
got a lot to do with it, though.
It does have a lot, but it's not like Chris Middleton and all the 2nd, 3rd, 4th best players have been incredible. Giannis leads his team in assists. This guy came into the league as a toothpick, and he was just a dunker, and he was athletic. He's now basically a point forward who is averaging 27 points a game. They are blowing teams out. They have the most 10 or more point victories in the league, and Giannis is sitting a lot in the 4th quarter, or his stats could be even better. I give Giannis the MVP. Harden has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I think Greg hit it on the head. I think leagues like to see new stuff. You know, there was a time in the span where Kobe could have won 3 or 4 MVPs in a row when they handed them out to other people. You know what I mean? So James' work goes without saying, probably one of the most fun individual seasons we've seen in a long time from a player, what he's been able to do. Hope he doesn't run out of gas in the playoffs, but
again,
this is new for Giannis and new for the Bucks, and he's led his team from, almost middle to bottom of the East to top of the East. So I definitely wouldn't say he locked it up. I pick James to win it, but I wouldn't be surprised and wouldn't be mad at all if Giannis won it.
I don't think he locked it up. Me personally, I look at what they're both doing. They're both doing something that's great. From being a 7th seed last year to being the best team in the league, having the best record, you got to give Giannis his props. He deserves to be MVP. Averaging 36 points, 50, 50, 50, 50, giving everybody 50. Like, you got to give him his props for that. They was out the playoffs. They're a 3rd seed now. Can be a 2 seed. So you can't overlook what James is doing just because Giannis has the best record in the league. Me personally, I would say this, and I have the same opinion with the Rookie of the Year. I got co-MVPs and co-Rookie of the Year for the first time in the NBA.
Yeah, that's never happened before. Matt, I want to go real quickly. You said the word fun with James Harden. I got to ask you guys, do you find Harden's style that fun? You said it. Dribbles between his legs.
He wouldn't do that against me. I'm sorry.
I don't find it fun, Steven.
I'm sorry.
He's not that exciting.
I couldn't stop James, and I'm not saying I could stop him, but I would compete better than a lot of guys competing. It would never be a possession where I'm guarding James Harden, where he dribbles between his legs 7 times before he take a shot. I'm sorry. The way they guard him now, they just let him do what he want and contesting the shot. We call that token defense. That's not real defense. But I'm not taking any credit away from him from what he's been doing. He's a great scorer, and he's the MVP this year, but the defense is not the same as when we were playing.
He leads the league in time of possession by a mile. Most dribbles per game. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't find it that fun, and I think the media, as you said, that's going to vote for it is going to go Giannis.
It's dominant.
I think it's tough, too, as teammates to play with a situation like that. As players, you understand he's your go-to, but as players, you still at least want to touch the ball to kind of feel the rhythm. You know what I mean? So when they start completely game planning for him to come in the playoffs, and these guys haven't really got their touches and their rhythm, it's going to be a tough situation. But to piggyback on what Jack said, let's take away Middleton and maybe even Bledsoe, because that's how Harden's had to play this year with, you know, his co-pilots, his second and third best players down and out. So they were 12th or 10th. He's brought them all the way back to third, so he's had to do a lot, and we may not agree with the style and how he's getting them, but he's got the team wins, and his numbers have been incredible. So to me, that's why he's the MVP.
They're going to suffer in the playoffs without Trevor Ariza, though. Watch.
Oh, huge.
Can't wait.
Huge mistake.
To Oklahoma City, where the Thunder continued their recent skid, getting stunned by a Mavs teams playing without Luka Doncic. OKC has now lost 7 of their last 10 to fall to the 8th seed in the West. And after the game, Russell Westbrook didn't seem at all interested in talking about their struggles.
Russell, you guys play in recent weeks. Is that cause for alarm going into the playoffs?
Next question.
How do you explain the last 7 weeks? 7 and 15, I think you are.
Matt, what you want to do?
Next question.
Jason, so I ask you, are you worried about Russell Westbrook heading into the playoffs?
I got to be careful here because I know online they hate when I go after Russell Westbrook. I got to just say, folks, 2 years ago, okay, they lose in the first round and everybody said, well, Russell Westbrook, he didn't have any help, okay? So they get him Paul George. And then last year they lose in the first round again. Remember, Russ was taking like 40 shots in that series, the final 2 games they lost to the Jazz. Well, it was the first year with Paul George. Let's cut him some slack. So here we are again. No Kevin Durant, year 3. Russell Westbrook looking at the 8th seed, okay? He's been a turnover machine late in the season. Paul George goes down with the shoulder injury. This team can't get right. What is the excuse going to be, Greg Jennings, for Russell Westbrook when the Warriors extinguish these guys in 4 or 5 or 6? Like, I mean, what are we doing here? We keep defending Westbrook. I get the triple doubles. Matt Barnes won't even look at me because he knows I'm being too harsh. I got to just say, we just keep defending this guy, and he's not winning.
Yeah, I'm not defending him at all. I think, personally, I am concerned. And the reasons why I have concern is because we're talking more and more about Russell Westbrook versus Paul George. And Paul George is the reason why they were so great before the All-Star break. That's my reasoning for questioning him going into the postseason. He put up 19 shots a game prior to the All-Star break. Now he's putting up 21. Get to the playoffs, the pressure mounts even more. He's going to want to put up more shots. They're going to need him to put up more shots because, as you mentioned about James Harden, the focus is going to be, can we take him away? When they try to take him away, that's when he does even more. And his turnovers have gone up. I just don't like what I'm seeing as far as a trending standpoint of Russell Westbrook's game. I need to see more Paul George. We should be talking more about Paul George, and we're not.
I think they had a perfect recipe, like you said, before the All-Star break of what it took to climb in the West. What worries me is they don't have that third option, which they desperately need. But to me, whoever's in the 8th spot, it doesn't matter what we think because they're going to get blown out. If they can sneak into the 7th spot, I could definitely see them, you know, a fresh breath, playoff start. The
How
sun
could you say that?
The sun is out in the 8th seed.
Huh? You beat a 1 seed. How could you say that?
Yeah, this is not the same situation. This ain't that. And they ain't us. Yeah, right. So, but like I said, I don't really trust Denver in that 2 spot. They're too young, too inexperienced. Like I said, if OKC can get in that 7th spot, I think they can turn it on. I think they will have a fresh breath of life and could mess around and be a scary team. Because at the end of the day, Russ can either shoot you in the game or shoot you out of the game. They have 2 very special players there, and those 2 guys. So if they get out of the 8th spot, I can see them really messing some things up if they get in that 7th spot and play Denver.
League just better hope that they continue to play like they are and things don't click. Like they clicked before the All-Star break. When Russ and Paul was playing together, Russ was getting his triple doubles, and PG was getting 30, 35 a game. They were winning. What people didn't understand is their supporting cast is terrible.
What supporting cast?
I was at the game against Golden State. They couldn't hit a house if they was in the kitchen, okay? Steven Adams is their third base player, but he really don't want the ball. He want to do the dirty work.
Yeah, he's not scoring.
You also have a guy you paying $80 million that's on the sideline, was the first small forward to get hacker-shacked in the playoffs. So this is the team we're talking about. They have a guard that's getting hacker-shacked. They're not that good.
What about Dennis Schroeder, Steven?
He's okay. He's okay. But they need another guy there. I think
Ferguson?
Like you said, Ferguson, he's an athlete, but he can't hit a house either. A lot of those guys are great athletes and are great role players, but they're not what they need. Russ and Paul need shooters. They need other guys that can make plays around them. And they're starting to look like they're wearing down as far as doing so much, carrying the load during the season. That's why they're starting to lose now. Hopefully they can get some energy back and go into the playoffs and start playing better. But right now they look like they're going to be out of there quick.
So it sounds like, Greg, the supporting cast will be to blame when the Thunder get bounced in the first.
How you going to blame a man that's averaging triple-double?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think you got to blame management for the supporting cast they've acquired. You
Like
know
put
what I mean?
Raymond Felton in there.
Yeah, you know people you need to space the court. You need shooters. Schroeder has played well this season, and there's another kid. It's a long, young kid.
Grant?
Grant has had a good
Anthony
season.
Morrow's still sitting at home.
They've had a good season. They just don't have enough. You know what I mean? But like I said, if they can sneak in that 7th spot, anything can happen.
That's a good point. Coming up, the hype